we should be paid more, and hopefully that's the case moving forward as the league continues to grow. I think that's something that's probably the most important thing that we're in the room advocating about.
CaitlinClark, Sophie Cunningham, and Lexi Hull stunned everyone with a massive statement that is appending women's basketball in a moment that left everyone speechless. They stood united and made a daring new move that no one had anticipated. It's delighting supporters and even shocking experts, and it's shifting the league's course. This update isn't your typical one. It's a significant occasion. Their choice is significant, potent, and profound. What specifically did they say that has everyone talking, then? Come along as we reveal the startling revelation made by these WNBA game-changing alliance superstars. The WNBA was rocked by something significant that almost no one anticipated. Along with Sophie Cunningham, a tough and respected veteran from the Phoenix Mercury, and Lexi Hull, a rising star with the Indiana Fever, CaitlinClark, the explosive 2024 top draft pick who has emerged as the face of a new generation of fans, joined forces. These three ladies, each from a different team and at a different point in their careers, got together for something much more significant than a casual conversation. Behind closed doors at the training facility of the Indiana Fever, insiders are referring to what happened as an orchestrated revelation. The world of basketball is still a hive. The WNBA is currently flourishing. The number of viewers has increased. More sponsors are joining the fray. Additionally, there is more attention than ever before on a global scale. However, despite all of this advancement, a lot of players continue to voice concerns about long-standing problems. Short careers, low income, and no long-term support. This new trio fills that need. CaitlinClark offers the celebrity power with a unified voice that has the ability to effect genuine change. She's shattering TV records and packing arenas. Sophie Cunningham provides seasoned insight and the unvarnished candor of someone who has witnessed the highs and lows of professional life, including the hardship of playing abroad in the off-season in order to support oneself. Additionally, Lexi Hull is a symbol of the future. A bright, gifted young athlete entering a league that is still attempting to determine how best to assist the upcoming generation. They appear to be developing into more than just a partnership. A movement is emerging. A campaign for increased compensation, more robust player rights, and safer, more sustainable careers from draft day to retirement may begin with their discreet but calculated meeting. Money isn't the only consideration. Respect is at issue. It has to do with control. Additionally, it's about ensuring that the ladies who put their all into the game don't get overlooked when the spotlight moves on. The fact that this connection transcends boundaries, team boundaries, age differences, and even professional phases adds to its strength. It sends a strong message and is uncommon in professional sports. The players have finished waiting. There is no greater significance to their timing. Major discussions are currently taking place on renegotiating the collective bargaining agreement, establishing new TV deals, and growing the league. And these three are aware that people begin to pay attention when players, particularly those with this level of influence, stand together. A growing number of WNBA players are evolving beyond their athletic careers. They serve as advocates, role models, and brand ambassadors. They may now take the lead in actual policy reform as well. More fans and corporate funding have been brought in by Clark than the league has ever seen. Cunningham is aware of the league's specific financial support deficiencies. Furthermore, Hull, who is still in the early stages of her career, stands in for any young athlete hoping for a secure future in the game. Their actions could mark the beginning of something historic, a change in which players actively influence the game's destiny rather than merely participating in it. What are they going to do next, then? Does it have the ability to permanently alter the WNBA's definition? Let's investigate. Movement for payment reform. Fans are excited about more than just who will win the league title or score the most points as the 2025 WNBA season approaches. Something more profound is taking place. Something that might alter women's basketball's very future. A strong movement is subtly gathering momentum off the court. Three of the league's most talked about names are at its core: Lexi Hull, Sophie Cunningham, and CaitlinClark. The three athletes got together on July 8, 2025, at the Indiana Fever training facility, not only to discuss basketball but also to make plans for something far more ambitious. Those with knowledge of the league claim that this was more than a friendly get-together. It was a calculated action. These three women are preparing to speak up. A daring one that directly addresses the inequitable pay disparity, one of the WNBA's worst problems. Even the best players in the WNBA have long received compensation that is insufficient for the contributions they provide to the sport. The league has never been more well-liked. However, many players continue to receive a pitiful salary compared to male athletes in other professional leagues. Both players and fans have been discreetly discussing this matter for years. However, things may be about to change at last. Since joining the league in 2024, CaitlinClark has had a significant influence. Arenas are packed with her games. Her best moments go viral. She has broken records for item sales and brought in millions of new viewers to WNBA broadcasts. Clark is more than just a player. To put it briefly, she is a brand superstar. She generates enormous revenue for the league. However, antiquated wage regulations continue to restrict her own earnings. She is nonetheless subject to a strict wage cap that doesn't adequately compensate her for all of her impact. Clark is not alone, though. She is joined by seasoned locker room leader Sophie Cunningham, who is renowned for her fierce leadership and powerful voice, and Lexi Hull, a rising star with increasing clout and a reputation for being frank, fearless, and unafraid to speak up. They are a formidable trio that might upend the system when combined. According to sources, their goal extends beyond improving their own compensation. Fighting for each and every player is the goal. Veterans approaching retirement, novices looking to make their mark, and everyone in between. Their objectives are to increase wages, enhance working conditions, and advocate for new league regulations that give female players the consideration they merit. The fact that the WNBA is currently experiencing rapid expansion only strengthens their timing. The number of viewers has never been higher. The number of sponsorships is increasing. Clark, Cunningham, and Hull are speaking up just in time to say, let's make sure this growth benefits everyone on the court, as the world is finally taking notice. If they are successful, their effort may mark a sea change for women's sports globally, as well as for the WNBA. They're not merely requesting more equitable contracts. They are preventing the system from changing. They're calling for a time when athletes will have a role in how the game is developed, how the company operates, and how players are treated. Not merely as performers, but as experts. What potential game-changing effects might this silent movement have on all WNBA players? Let's examine it more closely. The motivation behind the movement. People are observing more than just CaitlinClark's game as their attention grows. With all the attention, that's what she will do. It wasn't only thrilling to witness her debut season. Everything altered as a result. Fan interest skyrocketed, ticket sales skyrocketed, and the WNBA experienced a new wave of excitement. However, it appears like Caitlin is now considering options beyond setting records or securing sponsorship deals. Something significant is happening in Indiana behind the scenes. Two other players, Sophie Cunningham and Lexi Hull, have been spotted having lengthy conversations with Clark. Furthermore, insiders think that this group is discussing more than just basketball. They are setting the groundwork for a movement that has the potential to completely alter the league's course. Women's basketball players rarely have the kind of influence that CaitlinClark does now. She is a rising leader, a favorite in the media, and a fan favorite. However, what sets her apart is her apparent comprehension of the true purpose of that impact. It's more than simply her. She is starting to use her platform to draw attention to the more significant issues that all WNBA players face. Problems such as poor compensation, demanding travel schedules, and a lack of assistance for basketball players' post-game plans. She's not working alone either. Sophie Cunningham contributes a voice that is desperately needed. She has played through injuries, endured minimal pay, and spent her off-seasons abroad in order to maintain her financial stability. She has been in the game long enough to understand the highs and lows. Sophie's toughness extends beyond the court. She has also advocated for genuine, useful improvements and been a strong champion for players' rights. She has witnessed the league's growth and the distance it still has to cover. Her background lends legitimacy and foundation to this movement. The league's new generation is represented by Lexi Hull, a young player with a lot of promise. She is bright, talented, and bursting with new life. Since Lexi is implicated, this goes beyond the here and now. The goal is to create a future in which young athletes won't have to deal with the same difficulties. This trio is strong when together. Cunningham's expertise, Hull's promise, and Clark's momentum. They might start the largest player-led change the WNBA has ever witnessed if they can transform their modest discussions into audacious action. What began as a few private gatherings can develop into a large-scale initiative. One that transforms the attention of today into long-lasting transformation for each and every woman who enters that court. What made this unlikely combination the WNBA's best chance for significant, long-term change? Let's investigate. Connecting upcoming stars and legends. Sophie Cunningham is more than simply a new name on the roster. In a league that hasn't always stood up for its players, she is an experienced combatant. She repeatedly broke through the barriers of a system that frequently demanded too much and provided too little in return. She now has the strength of all those arduous seasons in her voice. It was more than simply a move on the court when she was dealt to the Indiana Fever. It was a step in a more significant, covert revolution that was developing behind the scenes. More than a veteran, Sophie is. She was a member of the foundation that helped turn the WNBA from something that was disregarded and undervalued into something that made headlines and that people could no longer ignore. There is more to her appearance beside CaitlinClark than merely a sentimental combination of the two. It's a strategic partnership. The league's most promising future is currently standing side by side with its tenacity from the past. Clark and Cunningham together are a unique